When you think of anarchy, what comes into your mind? Spray paint letter A's, with a circle around them. People attacking each other in a chaotic frenzy. Let's take a look at what it really looks like through the eyes of one of its quote-unquote leaders, Marusya.
Imagine this. You are a civilian of a nation that is collapsing into civil war. One side wants to preserve the old ways of autocracy, and the other seeks communism, a new form of government meant to divide assets evenly, though unfounded and possibly confusing. You just want to protect yourself and don't care about the dispute. You don't really feel like either side has your best interest at heart. This is proven by the fact that there are up to 12 million casualties, most of which are civilians like yourself. By contrast, the entirety of World War I killed 20 million. Something has to be done for the people. But what? Enter Maria Nikiforova in Russia. Someone who, like you, is tired of the BS and wants to advocate for civilians and says, screw these other forms of government. Anarchy has been around since the dawn of man. Though sometimes misunderstood, it has been used as a lever of the downtrodden when necessary for their benefit. A nation cannot exist without workers. Just try to play any civilization-based RTS game, and you'll find out that workers are actually the most important unit. But peasants at this time were not even being considered for the division of assets or proper work conditions. So what does Maria do to prepare the common for the onslaught? Why, make her own forces, of course. Now, you may think that because your army is basically the leftovers of society and people without money, that they would be, really poor soldiers. However, the truth is far different. The soldiers were better fed and equipped than many of the Red Army units. Although there were no official uniforms, the soldiers certainly had a sense of style. Long hair, not common in that era, sheepskin caps, officers' service jackets, red breeches, and ammunition belts were much in evidence. Anarchy is the very far political stance, advocating on behalf of the common people alone, and doesn't want any established form of leadership, claiming that the people themselves can take care of themselves and govern themselves. Maria has said, quote, "The anarchists are not promising anything to anyone," close quote. She cautioned, quote, "The anarchists only want people to be conscious of their own situation and seize freedom for themselves." Maria had a very successful military campaign, liberating Alexandrovsk in January 15th, 1918. And with the help of her new ally, Nestor Makhno, who admittedly didn't always see eye to eye with the anarchists, she was able to give the anarchists unofficial economic power in Huliapol, which, as we have discussed, is almost everything to anarchist society. They don't need to be official because that would require some form of central government, and we can't have that. With help of her rallying speeches, Maria and the anarchists would go on to win more conflicts. But funny thing about those speeches, none of them really survived. You see, Maria, in line with her anarchy, didn't always want to be a quoted central figure, and didn't write down her speeches. The anarchists, with Maria, would join the Allies in World War I, though they would also end up being treated like garbage after the war. I mean, did you even know the anarchists were part of the Allied powers? Yeah, garbage. Quote, "Recognition can be fatal for a terrorist." and so it was for Nikiforova in the end. Malcolm Archibald, 2007. Nikiforova was put on trial twice by the Bolsheviks on charges of insubordination and pillaging. These were the people she helped. They wanted a clean house. But Maria had witnesses of the first trial, and subsequently was acquitted. Vladimir Antonov Ovsienko, a Bolshevik leader, even telegraphed sending tidings of honor on behalf of Maria for the Bolsheviks. But on her second trial, double jeopardy, that illegal thing in the United States, they were able to find her guilty by whatever means necessary. These means include the taking of power away from Vladimir. Anarchy fell out of popularity due to propaganda, and eventually, in June 1919, became outlawed and fell under attack, literally. Naturally, they defended themselves, and were eventually captured and sentenced to death. But after the quelling, a smolder can remain. So the Bolsheviks saw fit to continue the propaganda train. Naturally, the more organized society that has support from the majority of the world should win out. After Maria and her husband were shot, the defamation of Maria began, and the justification for the action also began. Maria was a woman, which of course is fine to the equality-driven anarchists, but is much against the status quo of the era, that she should have any ability. Even things as base as her looks were on the table multiple times. One false testimony by Chudnov stated, "This was a woman, 32 to 35, medium height, with an emaciated, prematurely aged face, in which there was something of a eunuch or hermaphrodite. Her hair was cropped short in a circle." Unfortunately, even historians have largely ignored Maria, partly because she worked underground and didn't even really appear until her last 2 years of operation, therefore making it difficult to find information about her, not to mention whatever was destroyed by the Soviets. And also partly because of unpopularity, as a strong female character with different political ideals and already established misconceptions.
Cossacks! I must tell you that you are the butchers of the Russian workers. Will you continue to be so in the future, or will you acknowledge your own wickedness and join the ranks of the oppressed? Up to now, you have shown no respect for the poor workers. For one of the Tsar's rubles or a glass of wine, you have nailed them living to the cross. Maria Nikiforova. I'll see you next time.